What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. And join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real life heat between Mark Henry and Lio Rush continues, why Owen Hart will never be in the Hall of Fame, a Drew Gulak update, Vince is no longer worried about AEW, what is the WWE's greatest creation, the revival not using the Revolt name, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now, just before we get into that, I'd like to thank Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. The Ridge Wallet is light and sleek, and it's designed to easily fit into your front pocket. It's got a solid, sturdy design, and the durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. You can buy this one wallet and carry it for life. Guys, seriously, Ridge is so confident about their product that you can even test drive the wallet for 45 days, and if you don't love it, send it back for a full refund. I'm not giving mine back, that's for sure. This is my wallet. It's a classic, but it's too bulky, even with no cash inside. It's an unorganized mess with receipts, business cards, and credit cards. Now, all that fit into this, plus I even have more room with the money clip on the back. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and titanium, which is the one I have, not to mention a whole host of different colors. Now, they don't just sell wallets, they sell bags, phone cases, and all types of different accessories. So if you're looking for a quality upgrade to your beaten up old wallet, or you just want a wallet in general, look no further. Buy yours and get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/Wrestlelamia and use the code Wrestlelamia. The links are in the description below. Seriously, it's the last wallet I'll ever use. Our first story looks at the heat between Mark Henry and Lio Rush continuing. The social media circus between Mark Henry and Lio Rush continues as Rush recently responded to Henry's threat to sue Rush if he didn't stop talking about him. In case you missed it, the world's strongest man took offense to Lio Rush suggesting Henry has held back the careers of some black wrestlers, and Henry felt the comments slandered his reputation, upsetting him to the point where he's considered legal action. Rush tweeted his thoughts, saying, "Couldn't I just do the same for publicly defaming my name on national radio? Mark Henry, come on man, you're going out sad. You deserve to be remembered for the greatest heel turn ever, not for threatening to sue a 25-year-old in the middle of a pandemic. With so many people quarantined, it's good to get entertainment from wrestlers' social media beefs, and we think that the Henry vs. Rush program has been one of the best in recent memory." Next up, why Owen Hart will never be in the Hall of Fame. Now, in the new Dark Side of the Ring episode that looks into the death of Owen Hart, they managed to interview his wife Martha Hart and asked whether Owen would ever be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. She responded, "The Hall of Fame? They don't even have a hallway of fame. It doesn't exist. There's nothing. It's a fake entity. There's nothing real or tangible. It's just an event that they have to make money. They put it on television and have a celebration, and it's just so ridiculous. I would never entertain it. It's garbage." Is it just a fake entity? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a Drew Gulak update. There appear to be a number of stories concerning Drew Gulak's recent departure from the WWE. First, let's hear what Brian Alvarez had to say about it on the Wrestling Observer Live. So I checked around and there were two stories. One was that his contract expired and one that he had been released. So what happened was, he was negotiating a new contract and the contract expired after SmackDown and he wanted a raise. So Drew Gulak wanted a raise and they said no and then pulled a contract offer, so if you want to argue that he wasn't actually released, then you're welcome to, because his contract did expire, but they let him go because he wanted more money. Gulak is reportedly represented by super agent Barry Bloom, and with the WWE reporting profits this quarter, it's clear Gulak wants a raise, but Scrooge McMahon isn't willing to pony up the dough right now. Now, because of this, it means that Drew Gulak may not be done with WWE after all. It could mean that he could end up being back with the company if a new deal can be arranged. Next up, Vince McMahon no longer worried about AEW. If Vince McMahon doesn't sign Drew Gulak for an increased sum, Dave Meltzer feels the reason is obvious. They're no longer concerned about wrestlers leaving the WWE for AEW. Meltzer spoke on the Wrestling Observer Radio about this, saying, "They know it's not one of those situations like it was a couple of months ago, when somebody might go and help the opposition right now. I mean, they're not concerned with that anymore. I mean, that's the situation. The WWE may want to reconsider this new policy, as although the company clearly erred in trying to lock down every superstar on its roster, a talent like Drew Gulak shouldn't be released simply because the WWE doesn't want to give him a raise. That is unless Gulak is asking a ridiculous amount to stay in the WWE, like Brock Lesnar money, but that'd be silly. Next up, a quick preview for Raw tonight. Now, the WWE is looking to boost Raw's ratings, and the lineup for the 18th May show suggests they are hoping some big matches will bring in more viewers. Here's what's scheduled so far, as King Corbin takes on WWE Champion Drew McIntyre in a non-title match. Stupid, should have made it a title match. WWE Women's Tag Team title match as Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross take on the Iconics. And the Street Profits are to face the Viking Raiders in an axe throwing contest. What? Oh lord, how long's this gonna go on for? What's next week, a Viking burial? No, that's probably already happened. Next up, Bruce Prichard talks the WWE's greatest creation. Longtime WWE front office figure Bruce Prichard recently sat down with Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso to discuss the man he considers the WWE's greatest creation. Without a doubt, he's the greatest creation in WWE. Second is Kane. They had a deep, good story behind them, and both of the men that portray those characters are those characters. Mark Calloway became The Undertaker, and Glenn Jacobs became Kane. That's how seriously they took their craft. You'd watch them and believe them. The Undertaker and Kane, both of those were beautiful matches. It's difficult to think of any WWE creation that tops The Undertaker both in terms of success and longevity. Where would you rank the Phenom in the WWE's rankings of the best created characters? Let us know in the comments down below. During the interview, Prichard also discussed how Paul Bearer was in the right place at the right time when a spot opened up for managing The Undertaker. At the time, Prichard, who was managing The Undertaker, had decided to step back from managing Taker and his brother love identity and take a job at the front office. According to Prichard, talk about timing. When Paul Bearer came into the office to interview, we'd always ask people to speak a little bit about themselves and their interests. His revelation was that he was a licensed mortician. Paul fell right into our lap, and it was a perfect match. They fit each other so well, and Paul, actually as Percy Pringle, was The Undertaker's first manager in Dallas. Although The Undertaker evolved into his own man, it's difficult to imagine him finding the same level of success he did without the help of Paul Bearer early on in his career. Bearer not only helped Taker with promos, but he added to the character's spookiness. But whilst we're on the subject of Taker, he recently revealed who he'd take a bullet for. Now, The Undertaker's Last Ride documentary has now aired part 2, and within it he revealed who he'd take a bullet for, and it's Vince McMahon. He said, "I love Vince McMahon to death. I would take a bullet for the man. Honestly, I would. Yes, he's my boss. He's my friend. He's been like a dad, a brother. He's been like it all to me. I've gone through some really harrowing personal issues in my life. Kinda let them take over who I am as a person." It also adds up with Vince's emotional reaction, as on the special, when asked what The Undertaker meant to WWE and him personally, Vince broke down in tears. But other than Vince, Shane McMahon talked about the time Taker's mom admonished him. Shane McMahon had one of his most grueling matches with the dead man at WrestleMania 32 in a Hell in a Cell. Recently, Shane remembered meeting with The Undertaker and his mom for dinner just a few days before Mania, and the unlikely turn of events that played out between Mama Undertaker and Shane O'Mac. She then grabs me with both arms and stands me back. She says, "In this Texas drawl, you've always been one of my favorites. However, you hit my son right in his eye and made him bleed. You went down a couple of notches in my book." She was scolding me for this moment on the last Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania when we were going after each other. McMahon recalled looking over Taker, who was bowing his head very humbly and thinking of how embarrassing this moment is. McMahon stated that it doesn't matter how badass you are, there's going to be a protective mother. There's no word on whether Shane's mom Linda scolded Taker for destroying Shane at WrestleMania 32. Next up, a quick preview for AEW Dynamite. If you're wondering what to expect this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, according to Fight Television, the 20th May edition will feature the following matches and segments: Mox vs 10 of the Dark Order, Sammy Guevara vs Matt Hardy, MJF vs Marco Stunt, Orange Cassidy vs Rey Fenix, and a confrontation is going to happen between Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts, plus much more. AEW hasn't been setting the world on fire with their shows of late, and this one looks okay, but nothing like what you'd expect for a go-home show leading into a pay-per-view. But whilst we're on the subject, TNT is airing a Double or Nothing special. Ringside News is reporting that TNT will air a Road to Double or Nothing special on Friday 22nd May to hype AEW's 23rd May pay-per-view. With the current health crisis bringing television viewership down, AEW isn't taking any chances with its upcoming pay-per-view Double or Nothing. It's good that TNA is providing a strong partnership by airing this special, and no doubt hoping to get a ratings bump. Also, a new star has been added to the Double or Nothing ladder match. Another AEW star has been added to Double or Nothing's Casino ladder match, with Luchasaurus now joining Kip Sabian, Orange Cassidy, Colt Cabana, Darby Allin, Rey Fenix, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky in the 9-man event, where the winner receives an AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Next up, the Revival not using the Revolt name. Not too long ago, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, who rose to fame in the WWE as the Revival, seemed to be going with a new name for their team, the Revolt. However, indie wrestlers Caleb Connolly and Zane Riley have been using that name for several years and took exception, with their attorney sending a cease and desist order to the team demanding they stop using the name. Now it looks like Wheeler and Harwood won't be using the Revolt name for their team. WrestlingNews.co's Paul Davis is reporting, based on the response from Wheeler and Harwood's attorney, it looks like they will be using the name FTR instead of the Revolt. They can't use the Revival name since WWE owns that trademark. Harwood and Wheeler have said that the plan was to be called FTR all along, and news sites just assumed that the Revolt would be their new name. While they are claiming they never planned on using the Revolt name, we have to call bullshit on this one, as why would the talented team seek to trademark the Revolt if they weren't even going to use it? And finally, The Miz recalls putting over a new star. Last but not least, The Miz has reached a stage in his career where he's had enough juice to put someone over. Recently, The Miz celebrated how he did that very thing 10 years ago when he lost the United States Championship. Had to give this kid his big break. The Miz was referring to none other than Bret Hart, who defeated him in Canada to win his 5th United States title. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.